Right, so in today's video, I'm going to be looking at how I can get rid of algae off the hard surfaces in my garden. So if you just have a bit of a nosy round now, you can see there's lots of spaces like this which are full of algae. I mean, the patio's got a little bit of it on. I mean, it's horrendously dirty at the minute. Behind this plant pot, you can see how bad the algae problem actually is, and over at the retaining wall as well. You can see it on the posts and even the actual wall itself. There's so much algae that's actually growing. Now, the product I'm going to use today is something that you should hopefully be able to pick up in your local garden centre, because that's where I got mine, and it's Algon. Now, like it says on the bottle, the whole point of this product is to clean patios, to clean decking, all sorts of different hard surfaces in your garden. I did do a test patch of this around about a week ago, just to see what sort of impact it would have over the course of a week, and so far the results are not too bad. So you can see we've got some algae on this part of the fence here, but down below, on this part and on this part, I actually sprayed the Algon a week ago. You can see it's cleared up quite well for the most part, and even just along the front of these here and on the top of this post, you can see there's still a little bit of algae there, but lots of it has gone. It did look as green as what some patches over there did last week. And then if you come up to the stones, you can see that there's a difference in the colour of these ones compared to the colour of those as you go a little bit further down. So the product does seem to be working. Now, it does actually say on the bottle that you will see results within a week, but it says that's going to be working for months afterwards. It does say on the bottle that, you know, for the best results, apply it in dry-ish conditions, and you can see the garden is a little bit wet, but some of the patches on the retaining wall over here, which have got the algae on, they're pretty dry. The actual lawn edging itself, for the most part, the front parts are dry, the top bit's a little bit wet, but it's not too bad. I will be putting it down on the patio too, which obviously is a little bit wet at the moment, but we'll just see what sort of impact it does have on these spaces. Worst case scenario, it gets off a lot of the algae, and I've just got to get on with another application of it when conditions are a little bit drier. But I do want to get this product down now because I want to get the algae removed before we actually get into that next gardening season. Now, to apply the product, it does specify on the back of the bottle that it's best to be applied with a sprayer like this. Now, this is a knapsack sprayer. You can pick them up from Amazon for around about £35, like 40 quid. This one, I'm sure, was about £35 when I picked it up, but with inflation, it might be a little bit more expensive now. But it's one of the most versatile pieces of kit that you can actually own, especially when you're doing things around your garden, because you can apply fertilizers with it, you can apply weed killer with it, you can also apply this sort of stuff as well. You just got to make sure that you are cleaning your knapsack sprayer out between every single use. I've actually got two of these. I've got one for lawn care, and I've got this one, which is stuff like removing algae and killing weeds and stuff like that. It does specify on the back of the bottle that you need to mix 1 part Algon to 3 parts water. Now, this says that covers about 60 meters squared, which is far more than what I actually need for this garden, but because I'm going to be doing the patio and all these different hard surfaces and all of the stones, I'm going to put all of this into the knapsack sprayer and make quite a big mix, because I'm going to go over the surfaces multiple times. The fact that it is a little bit wet out here makes me think it's better for me to put more down than too little. It does say that if you put too much down, sometimes you can get little white marks on the woods or on like your hard surfaces, but it does say in time the weather, you know, wears that away. That's the product being put down in quite a concentrated form. So let's get this knapsack sprayer filled and we start applying the Algon. Oh, it smells like vinegar. It absolutely stinks. There are measurements on the outside of this knapsack sprayer, but to get a really, you know, accurate mix, I'm just going to fill this up 3 more times with water and dump it in to give me that 1:3 ratio. There we go, jobs are good, and let's get this Algon onto the hard surfaces. Now, I'm going to start off with the retaining wall first, because there's tons of algae knocking about on it. Now, this started to develop over sort of the back end of the summer. We had quite a lot of rainfall, so the algae started to grow, and it's only got worse over the past few months. So let's get it on quite liberally, and then see where we're at. So there we go, the Algon has been applied. Let's give it 2 weeks and let's see how it gets on. So it's been about 3 weeks now since we put the Algon down, and so far the results are looking pretty decent. I think we can see a massive difference is in the actual wood that goes along the border of the actual lawn. I mean, this patch over here, you can still see where it is a little bit green there now, but most of the algae has actually been removed, and I think much of what's left is just there. So what I'm going to try and do is get on this with the jet wash in a moment and see if I can blast any more of it off. But the actual wood itself all the way along is looking absolutely brilliant, and even the colour of the stones. I mean, the stones, they were absolutely filthy to the point where we were actually considering removing the stones and replacing it with something like slate, something that wasn't going to show up the algae as bad. But I think considering how good of a job the Algon's done at getting rid of that green colour, it's you know, give us a little bit more faith now and thinking, you know, we can actually keep the Cotswold stone and we've got a decent way of maintaining it now. Because that was one of the things that we sort of considered before getting the Cotswold stone, was that it was always going to look filthy once algae started to grow on it. But considering how well the Algon's done with it, it's something we're not looking to replace, I don't think, anymore going forward. You can see up at the top as well just how nice some of the stones come out. I mean, we still have a little bit of the algae knocking about. I mean, around here you can see some of it, but for the most part the stones are looking decent. You can just see the actual difference in the colour of the stones running all the way along. It's absolutely boss. I mean, little cow's tendon there, but other than that, it's looking decent. Hard surface over here hasn't fared too well, but hopefully, again, if I try and get on with the jet wash with that, I'll see what comes off. If not, I can put a second application on it. But the fence over here, I think when it comes to the wood, it's had a huge impact. Like, this was full of algae, and this part here, you can see most of it's gone now, but you can tell sort of at the bottom where there are spaces that are missed when I was spraying. You can see how, you know, the algae from here has actually been killed off, but obviously you've still got it a little bit there. I mean, even the ends as well, these were full of algae before I put the first application down, and yeah, looking, you know, brand new now. You can see on the raised bed there's still a hint of where the algae was there, where I think give it another couple of weeks, that's going to be gone. And even the fence over here, so we had lots of algae on this, and it's looking really, really nice. One space that doesn't seem to have fared as well is the actual retaining wall. I think because there's so much algae on them, it's going to take quite a while for it all to go, but you can see there is a massive impact in terms of you can actually see the wood, and a lot of this is just like dirt and things where the dog's been digging in the garden and it's been covered in mud. And like the steps, I can't believe I can actually see the wood on the steps again instead of seeing all that algae. Again, I'm going to get on with the jet wash. I'm going to blast all this just to see how well it comes up, and then I'll know which spots I really need to get on with the extra Algon. But you can see it's not perfect, but it's looking a hell of a lot better than it did the other day. So there we go, after jet washing, the wall is looking so much better than it did, and even the border down at the bottom, pretty much all the algae is gone. So, you know, the Algon did its thing, it took most of it away, and I've just blasted the rest off with the jet wash, and the wall and the patio and things are looking ready now for the spring. Now I do want to say about the patio, you can see there's still quite a bit of algae knocking about, and the main reason for that is the fact that I used most of the Algon on all the hard surfaces around the garden, and I didn't manage to get a lot down on the patio. Now some of it did get down, but nothing really across the entire thing. So I'm definitely going to be getting another bottle of it, putting it on the patio again, leaving it for another couple of weeks to let it do its thing, and even getting some down on the stones up at the top too, just so they go nice and clean like the other ones that have been treated. So thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, such as any of my garden renovation series or any of my lawn tip videos, then feel free to subscribe. And finally, thanks for watching.